The pages of the Great Patriotic War are filled with heroic feats of Soviet soldiers. The defense of the Brest Fortress is one such feat. By early June 1941, the border town of Brest was already part of the Soviet Union. On the border with Belarus there was the Brest Fortress, which had about 9,000 Red Army soldiers with their families, doctors and maintenance workers. In August 1939 the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact was signed on non-aggression between the Soviet Union and Germany. That is why no one expected perfidious invasion. Joseph Vissarionovich himself on June 22 rested at his dacha in Sochi and urgently arrived in Moscow. However, for 10 days he disappeared from sight, contrary to speculation, actively led the army headquarters and took reports in the Kremlin. First defenders. In fact, the defense of the Brest Fortress was the first battle with the Nazis. Despite the unexpected attack and sluggishly organized defense, the Red Army fought back fiercely. The Germans appreciated the heroism and realized they would not easily defeat the Soviet Union. They were using mortars, artillery and a super bomb, weighing 1,800 kilograms, against Brest, but it did not break the defenders. The defenders had no choice but to go down to the basements and fight from there. The defense had been going on for about a month. To be more exact, the battle itself lasted about a week, but those who were able to break through organized a partisan movement. Damn Germans. In his post-war memoirs, sapper Heinz Kruger recalled, "It was an incredible battle. I thought, who were we to the Soviet soldiers? Fascists. In those moments there was no question of victory. It was a matter of principle to take the fortress. There were almost no prisoners. The Russians were dying and taking our soldiers with them and cursing us to death. It was a terrible battle in which even 100 meters to the fortress were given with great losses. Indeed, already in the first hours of the assault the Germans lost about 18 officers. The losses were so great that additional forces were sent to the besiegers." Today, historians have many versions of why the Germans for so long could not take the Brest Fortress. There are several versions: competently formed defense in the first days, the construction of the fortress itself, which withstood the explosions of air bombs, the dedication of soldiers who fought for themselves and their families. There is also a version that the Germans took the fortress on the same day, but showed the command that the Russians did not surrender to get more funding and assistance. However, this is a conspiracy theory. The outcome of the assault is described in the German BMA, RH 20-4/192, Archive Fund of the 4th Army of the Wehrmacht. Casualties of the 45th SS Infantry Division were 32 officers and 421 non-commissioned officers killed or missing, 31 officers and 621 non-commissioned officers wounded. It should be added to all this that the Germans used up huge stocks of arms. 2 armored trains with the Karl guns, 620 mm guns were brought up, but it did not break the resistance. During the war this episode was not recollected, but after the war this topic was raised due to the recollections of the survivors and relatives of the dead taken by the Germans as prisoners. Defenders of the Brest Fortress is a memorial, and the remains of the fortress have been partially restored and are a museum complex. Many nuances about the massacre are still emerging.